So today was a good day of cooking because today is Swedish Meatball Day. Growing up, my mom always made these with the packet, and those went triple platinum in my house. So to me, these are nostalgic, but they're also just delicious. Started my Monday like I start most of my Mondays, and that is by making tomato soup. Today I got a bunch of sun gold tomatoes, which I love to use when I can get them. Got those roasted off with some onions, garlic, olive oil, and salt with a bit of Italian seasoning. Added to a 350-degree oven to let those roast. Then I started making my cheesecake, a very classic cheesecake with a graham cracker crust, served with some strawberries. First bake off the crust, then add in my filling and bake at 325. Had to transfer my tomatoes into a pan to finish cooking because I really needed to get my cheesecake in the oven. It takes quite a long time. And once those tomatoes start to break up and release their juice, I added in some chicken stock, let that cook for about 20 minutes before blending and straining, seasoning with a touch of honey for sweetness, and blending in some fresh basil into the strained soup. Got some potatoes boiling in some heavily salted water to make mashed potatoes, then start making my meatballs. Finally chop up some onions, get those sweated in some butter. Not trying to get any color here. Add some salt, microplane some garlic, and a ton of fresh nutmeg. I love nutmeg, and I really like it when the flavor comes through here. Transfer that into a bowl with some panko, Dijon, a touch of cream, a few eggs, and add in my mix of veal and pork. As always, I always cook off a little piece to taste for seasoning, but I've also worked with chefs that just taste it raw, so whatever works for you. I take some of my meatball mix and sear it off in a pan with some shallots and garlic, deglaze with a bit of white wine, and top it off with some good quality beef stock. I'm going to let that reduce for a while, and that will be the base for our gravy. Form up my meatballs and get those into the fridge so they can set up nicely. Now my potatoes are cooked and I peel them first, and since I don't have a ricer here, I just pass the potatoes through a strainer. Add in some butter and milk, season to taste with salt and black pepper. Swedish meatballs are always served with mashed potatoes, pickles, and lingonberry jam. I've been using the same recipe for pickles forever, but if you don't want to use a recipe, a good ratio is a 1-to-1 vinegar and water, seasoned with salt and sugar. I can never find lingonberries in Los Angeles, so I do buy the jam, but if anyone knows where I can get some, please let me know. Making a classic gravy here with a roux of equal parts butter and flour. Drain in my reduced stock, cook until thickened, add in some cream, and season with a touch of sherry vinegar and salt to taste. For dinner, served up my tomato soup first, then seared off my meatballs in a pan to get a nice crust on them. You can butter baste these if you like, but I think the mixture of the fatty pork and veal makes it unnecessary. My boss loves peas with mashed potatoes, so if there's mashed potatoes, there must be peas. Frozen peas are always great if you can't find fresh ones because they are picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen. Everything gets plated up and topped with some of that gravy. For dessert, some of that cheesecake served with berries, and that was my day.